Dear students, I am Dr. Kiran Deshwal, Assistant Professor English. In this video lecture, I will discuss about the poem Ulysses, written by British poet Alfred Lord Tennyson. Let us have a brief introduction of Tennyson before starting the poem. Alfred Tennyson, first Baron Tennyson, was born on 6th August 1809 and died on 6 October 1892. He was a British poet. He was the poet laureate during much of Queen Victoria's reign and remains one of the most popular British poets. He was the poet laureate at the time of Queen Victoria. In 1829, Tennyson was awarded the Chancellor's Gold Medal at Cambridge for one of his first pieces, Timbuktu. He published his first solo collection of poems, entitled as Poems Chiefly Lyrical in 1830, Claribel and Mariana, which remain some of Tennyson's most celebrated poems, were included in this volume. Although decried by some critics as overly sentimental, his verse soon proved popular and brought Tennyson to the attention of well-known writers of the day, including Samuel Taylor Coleridge. Tennyson's early poetry, with its medievalism and powerful visual imagery, was a major influence on the pre-Raphaelite Brotherhood. So, first, at first, people criticized his poetry for being oversensitive, but later on, he became popular and he became an inspiration for the poets of pre-Raphaelite Brotherhood period. Tennyson also excelled at penning short lyrics. He also wrote short lyrics like Break, 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 The Charge of the Light Brigade, Tears, Idle Tears, and Crossing the Bar. These are his short poems, short lyrics. Much of his works was based on classical mythological themes. So, the major themes of his poems are from classical mythology, such as Ulysses. Ulysses is the example. Although in memoriam AHH, it is an elegy, was written to commemorate his friend Arthur Hallam, a fellow poet and student at Trinity College, Cambridge, after he died of a stroke at the age of 22. Tennyson also wrote some notable blank verse, including Idylls of the King, Ulysses, and Tithonus. During his career, Tennyson attempted drama. He also wrote drama, but his plays enjoyed little success. But they didn't receive success. A number of phrases from Tennyson's work have become commonplaces of the English language, including nature, red in tooth and claw, from In Memoriam AHH, it's better to have loved and lost than never to have loved at all. So, these are the examples of his famous phrases. Let us talk about the poem Ulysses. Ulysses is a poem composed by Alfred Lord Tennyson, and this poem was written in 1833 by Alfred Lord Tennyson, the future poet laureate of Great Britain. The poem takes the form of a dramatic monologue. So, this poem has been written in the form of dramatic monologue. The speaker is Ulysses. This poem is spoken by Ulysses, and Ulysses is a character who also appears in Homer's Greek epic, the Odyssey, and Dante's Italian epic, the Inferno. Ulysses is the Latinized name of Odysseus. In the Odyssey, Odysseus struggles to return home, but in Tennyson's Ulysses, an aged Ulysses is frustrated with domestic life. So, in Odyssey, the hero wants to return to his home, but in Ulysses, the hero is fed up with the home, with the domestic life, and he wants to go on. He wants to go again. He wants to struggle again. He wants to do adventures again. Life and yearns. Ulysses is frustrated with domestic life and yearns to set sail again, to continue exploring. He wants to explore the world Dante seems to condemn Ulysses' recklessness as an explorer, but in Tennyson's poem, there is nobility and heroism in Ulysses' boundless curiosity and undaunted spirit. So, in this poem, we have Ulysses as a hero who is curious to explore the world, and his spirit is undaunted, that is, tireless. So, let us explain the poem in brief questions. First of all, the title Ulysses. The question will strike in your mind that who is Ulysses? In the poem Ulysses, the basic question, who is Ulysses, about whom the poem is. So in the Tennyson's poem, Ulysses refers to the Greek hero. Ulysses is a Greek hero who had to battle through adversaries of all types in order to return home to Ithaca after his exploits in Trojan War. In Tennyson's configuration, Ulysses comes back home but realizes that. So, Ulysses is the Greek hero, and Ulysses battles through adversaries, and she fights a lot to return home to Ithaca, and she is the main hero of Trojan War. In Tennyson's configuration, Ulysses comes back home, but he realizes that he cannot be satisfied with the life of domesticity. So he again goes on to venture. Now, why does Ulysses want to leave Ithaca? He has returned after a very long time from Trojan War. Why does he want to leave Ithaca? This is the question which might be in your mind. So, the poem is a long monologue spoken by Ulysses detailing how bored he is in Ithaca. So, why does Ulysses want to leave Ithaca? Because he is bored here. An island of the coast of Greece. Ithaca is an island, and how he wants to get as much out of life as he can. He also wanted to keep living life. He wants to keep struggling. That's why he wants to leave Ithaca, taking both its ups and downs in stride in the same way as Ulysses. How does the poem Ulysses end? What is the climax of this poem? So, Telemachus is the son of Ulysses, and Ulysses says that Telemachus will do his work of governing the island, while Ulysses will do his work of traveling the seas. So he says that he works his work, his son does his work, and I do mine. In the final stanza, Ulysses addresses the mariners, his companions, his friends, his followers, with whom he has worked, travelled, and weathered life's storms over many years. So the poem ends with Ulysses' departure with his friends. What does Ulysses yearn for? What is his desire in this poem? Ulysses longs for adventure. He wants to adventure more and more. He wants to travel to new places. So he is not happy to perform his duties as a king. What is the message of Ulysses? Every poem has a message. So, what is the message of Ulysses? The central theme of Ulysses is that there is a search for adventure. By this character, Tennyson wants to tell us we should not sit idle. We should keep doing something. So, the central theme of Ulysses is that there is a search for adventure, experience, and meaning which makes life worth living. Tennyson used Ulysses as the old adventurer, unwilling to accept the settling of old age, longing for one more quest. So, Ulysses is curious, and we all should be curious about our future, about our plans, about our actions. Tennyson also wrote this in memory of his friend Arthur Hallam. Since the beginning, I'm telling you that this poem is written in the form of a dramatic monologue. So now the question is, what a dramatic monologue is. So dramatic monologue is written in iambic pentameter, and Ulysses is a dramatic monologue. Dramatic monologue is a poetic form in which we usually associate with Robert Browning. This poem was started by the poet Robert Browning, who was a Victorian poet and contemporary of Tennyson. And dramatic monologue is a speech delivered to a silent listener. In this, the speaker will speak and others will listen. Thanks for watching. We will do the line by line analysis of this poem in our next video.